Okay. Well done. Okay, Peter. Here we go.
Thank you so much.
That's a lot of stuff to carry home.
Yeah,
Well done.
thank you very much. Mr. President, members, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very honored and proud to be on the podium tonight to receive the Sneme David W. Taylor Medal. I have become number 71 in a string which started in 1936 when Admiral Taylor was the first recipient and continued with many very distinguished medalists ever since. If you do the maths, continuing from 1936, I should have been the number 75 recipient, sort of an anniversary. But checking the list of medalists, I noticed that the medal was not awarded in 1937, 41, 44, and 52. So I will settle for being number 71, and one of just a handful of foreigners being awarded the medal. I'm indeed very honored. Before I continue, I wish to give a special thank you to Bill Gray for his friendship and his seemingly never-ending patient support when I want to learn something about the American marine industry. And also to appreciate the fact that he traveled to Seattle to present the medal to me. Bill, thank you very much. Having been active in the industry since I, in 1972, as a very young man, joined the Royal Danish Navy to do my national service, I can look back on close to 40 years uninterrupted work, which further to the Navy counts 3 different Danish shipyards, and now ABS here in Houston. The reason why I'm highlighting this is that after having more carefully studied Sneme's activities, I realized that Sneme and I share the fundamental wish to support the next generation of naval architects and marine engineers by passing on the experience collected over time, sometimes certainly at very high costs. To take this further, I started reflecting on US shipbuilding going forward. Remember, in my heart, I am and will always be a shipbuilder myself. With my next words, I'm aware that I'm walking into a minefield of different opinions, views, politics, etc. But believe me, my idea is strictly driven by a sincere and true love for our industry and a desire and commitment to help our next generation naval architects and marine engineers to experience same opportunities to enjoy a great experience as I have had the good fortune to get. A couple of facts are worth noticing, such as the present low dollar exchange rate. And I personally believe it might very well stay low for considerable time. And if you combine this with the labor costs, which I believe is lower here than in Japan, Korea, and certainly in Europe, then in my simple engineer's mind, we should have a very solid foundation for having a sustainable industry in the United States. Further, combine this with historical fact we have heard about a couple of times tonight, that the US World War II shipbuilding performance was, and even still with today's yardstick, remains to be impressive. However, We can, of course, not live in the past. But it is my understanding that our industry in this country, including universities, design companies, shipbuilders and ship owners, is blessed with a high number of naval architects and marine engineers with extensive first-hand international experience. Would it then not be worthwhile, under SNAMI's leadership, to create a forum where a number of these experienced people could meet and have an open-minded and informal, holistic, as opposed to technical discussion on the subject of a sustainable international US shipbuilding industry, including larger seagoing vessels? And now I really have to be careful, but I dare going forward. I am afraid not to offend anybody in this room that it might, unfortunately, soon be about the last call. Remember, I'm from Europe, so I have seen it. If we wish to maintain a sizable shipbuilding industry in this great country with a proud and long maritime tradition, if we fail, our industry will, in my view, be missing an important element. To set the record right, I wish to stress that my speech here tonight is reflecting the personal views of Peter Tang-Jensen. I'm not speaking on behalf of ABS, although I know that ABS shares the view of supporting next generation in our industry and has demonstrated it numerous times by contributions. Finally, before I close, there are two issues which I need to share with you tonight. When Bill Gray talks passionately about what we did in Odense Steel Shipyard in Denmark, I wish to stress and remind everybody that to experience great things, timing, luck, and good working environment are necessary. In my case, I was blessed with working for a very foresighted company, A.P. Møller-Mærsk, who also, as a matter of policy, constantly challenged the existing limits. And the other important issue was that I was surrounded by very good and very clever and smart colleagues. So I wish at this occasion to acknowledge both and say thank you to A.P. Møller-Mærsk for creating the circumstances and the challenges, and to my former colleagues who I worked with in Odense. Lastly, I wish to say a very loud and strong thank you to my family. Here tonight represented by my wife for more than 40 years. Her name is Dorte, that's a Danish name. None of us had the imagination to even dream about what has happened here tonight when we, as newlywed, were sitting together in our modest, and it was modest, accommodation working on my master's thesis. I was developing the theory and you was typing it all on our old mechanical typewriter. So that tells you a little bit about how long time ago it was. My master's thesis was a study on a polar research vessel. And in honor of Dorte's contribution, by writing it and also providing a lot of critique and support, I named the vessel Door Ice. Thank you, Dorte, for your constant support over the years. Even the year when I asked you to delay the Christmas dinner shortly before it was being served, because I was on the phone with a frustrated ship's captain out on the ocean who needed some help. Dorte, it would have been very nice to have our 3 children here tonight. But when I realized that I had mixed up Washington, D.C. with the state of Washington, they all decided that that would be too far to go from Denmark. Thank you very much.